have Solo and Stevens, who are well versed in the entertainment industry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. And let's start first of all with what was trending. And you've had it yourselves from Erick Omondi himself. He's given his apology. He even apologized on Twitter. He's apologized severally. Stevens, are you convinced?
Man's not hot. Man's not hot. I'm not convinced, Mike.
You're not convinced with the apology?
No.
What is not convincing? You have said it like several times that it leaked. It went well. It went onto YouTube and all the other social media platforms by mistake.
I mean, Erick, we know Erick very well, and I don't think this is the first time he has pulled an attempt to, become monkey man. Days when people never used to wear clothes. We remember last year, Erick and Chipkizi were away abroad, and they pulled something like that, almost something like that.
Yeah, they shot the video.
They shot the video, and they were almost naked. And the video also went viral. And just the other day when he was welcoming his girlfriend back, and they went for the bush outing and the beach thing.
Yeah.
We
saw his full pockets.
We saw his full pockets. And so I'm not convinced that this went out as a mistake, because there's a very consistent...
But give the man, at least his due, what would I call it? The fact that he has apologized. He has come out and said, I am sorry. Why can't we just believe him for that? Face value. Quinta.
One thing we have to say about Erick is the fact that he pushes the envelope in terms of creativity. I mean, this gentleman has done things that probably no other comedian artist has done. And he tries to serve, a different flavor of comedy every other time. However, on this one, even if, Erick says he's apologetic that the video went on social media. But I think, and he's not apologetic that there were children around him. Okay, that for me is, for lack of I would just say it was a bit not well thought out, because, children are innocent, and there's something called indecent exposure, which I don't know whether Erick is aware of. But like he says, he's going back to swim. In the village, I can assure you that it's not a big deal. It is not a big deal, because when you swim in the lake, I don't know whether we have people who come from around the lake. We have men and women. Yeah, men shower on this side, women shower on the other side. And it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It is their way of life. In fact, MP Millie Odhiambo posted something on social media that we from the lake, we are not scared of each other's backsides. Yeah, it's not a big deal. But the mere fact that it managed to find its way into social media and everybody saw it, and I mean, we've seen a lot of Erick. Okay. Yes.
Solo, your thoughts on that? And I mean, the truth of the matter is, if what Erick was saying is anything to go by, they were basically just driving past a bridge, and like Quinta is saying, that is their way of life. It was literally just taking the Turkana way of life, if that's where they were, and bringing it. The only difference here is that Erick Omondi is known. The other difference is you're bringing it to a more cultured, dressed audience.
Right, yes. At first, when I saw the video, I was a bit shocked, because I did not know the setting. I did not know where it happened. But much later, after I did some inquiries, I was told it is in Turkana. And it's true. I've also gone to places like in Baringo, where the Karamajong was swimming in Lake Baringo. And I mean, we are the only people from the city who looked perplexed or shocked that these guys are, is it butt naked? Yeah, they're just naked and in the river swimming and taking a shower. Others are minding their own business, washing their clothes. Others are just basking around there. So when I got to get the setting, the actual setting, and having seen also comments from people from Lake Turkana saying that this is normal, this is our way of life. I mean, we don't really, you're only bothered if you either lack something or you're not from there. But following his apology, I think I'm totally convinced.
You're totally convinced.
Yes.
All right. Because of time, I think we'll want to leave Erick to continue doing what he does his best. But let's look at what we have in the entertainment world. Let's start with you, Stevens. I know today is the day that we have the Pulse, and there's a lot that's been happening.
There's a lot that's been happening. And, of course, like I always say, The pulse is there for you to buy and read. But we can break down some few stories here and there. And one of the stories of concern that I was just raising now with the rest of the panel is the fact Magufuli would ban Diamond songs in Tanzania.
I saw that. I mean, that.
Because he thinks they are also Erick Omondi
too much. According to him, there's too much nudity on his videos and indecent exposure.
And you know, we're talking about, I think, the greatest artist we have, or arguably the biggest artist we have in East Africa. And
but the question, Stevens, and the rest of you, where do we draw the line? Because according to Magufuli, I'm sure he's trying to defend his cultural background, where he's coming from. And the thing that has also raised a lot of conversation on Erick's video is the fact that, again, it is indecent, it's immoral. What are you telling the kids? Where do we draw that line?
Mike, and that's why we're coming back to, okay, Erick could have been, you know, naked. When you think about videos, and we had the conversation when Sauti Sol also had a video that had a level of we don't have shirts on and we're exposing our bodies and all that, and there was a lot of talk around it. But when it comes to videos, and you can see there's a very intentional truth of we are doing this way. And you're looking at Diamond, where he sings about love songs. He sings about young people, and he's just talking about himself. And we know Diamond and him and his many wives or girlfriends and all that. He's impressing a given generation of people. The question is, as I seem to please a generation that I'm trying to address in my music, is it also affecting a generation that doesn't understand this kind of culture that I'm trying to spread? Is it, because sometimes you're looking like, is it so westernized that the people who have recognized, for that matter, are not making sense of what I'm singing? And I think that's where the debate is right now, whereby Magufuli would say, we have a way of life in Tanzania, and I think this gentleman is also now pushing the envelope through his new culture of life as an artist and as a creative to make people live from what they used to be. And I think that's where the debate is at this point.
I think Magufuli is, well, in as much as he's being a moral cop or whatever you want to call it, let's not assume the fact that Diamond does not sing for Tanzanians only. He's an international artist. And therefore, there's something called, it's just art for art's sake. And more often than not, there are certain things that we know what will sell, what will attract the international audiences, the Tanzanians exclusive. Well, for him to ban, remember he banned socialites. There were socialites, and there were people who were told not to post anything or to perform for a certain period of time. Yes. Diamond is, I've looked at some of his videos. I'm a big fan. I like his composition. I like his lyrics. I mean, the quality of the video. And generally, as an entertainer, he's not so bad. Forget about the drama and the scandals that surround that follow him all the way. But his music, is it really that bad? I mean, to warrant that kind of action, I'm not sure. It's not so bad.
And looking at creativity, I mean, you find that those artists who are more creative tend to push boundaries, always.
Sure. Well, I looked at it at a different angle because I don't know whether this is personal because one way or the other we knew that Diamond had not really supported Magufuli during his presidential bid. I don't know whether this is getting to that personal bit, but banning a song that already has over 8 million views on YouTube, I mean, that has already done over 6 months, I think it's just hypocritical. It is really hypocritical, it's far-fetched. I think he's gone beyond his mandate. There are other pressing issues that, we should probably be
But is there a point where that creativity should be reduced, especially when your audience is everybody?
No,
you see, because there's I mean, you can do X-rated movies if you want. Nobody stops you to do that. But there are rules and regulations as to who can watch. Now, for somebody like Diamond, he's viewed as an entertainer, and even Erick Omondi, for that matter, is an entertainer of all age groups.
Yes.
Should there then be a certain way of drawing that line so that now, if you're appealing to the children, really, there has to be a way you draw the line?
Well, you can say that you can be an artist that reaches out to all age groups, but per se, it's not really possible. You always have a target market that you're going to be addressing in any song that you do. Sometimes you do a song for Christians, sometimes you do a wedding song, sometimes you do a love song. there's no one particular time. It's very, very hard, and it doesn't happen like all the time that you can release a song that is
it's purely
for everybody. So what we are seeing here is, and that's why I'm saying I'm hoping it's not something personal, but I mean, even we've had songs in Kenya banned, then they went ahead and won awards. I remember You Guy, that then died by P Unit and Kolo. That's the song that also brought the emergence of Vera Sidika and the socialites and stuff like that. So I think we just become hypocritical, because do we even have cultural ethics?
If you, and then another thing, Mike, if you're going to ban Diamond because of his songs and his composition, then you might as well ban even the oxygen we breathe. Because at the end of the day, we might not watch Diamond on TBC or wherever, but we'll find him on YouTube, and the children will find him there.
Right.
So, I mean, what is our end game?
What have you ended up with? But there you go. All right, what else should we look out for on the pulse before we do the Nairobian quickly and wind up? I see we are
getting back to Erick and social media, and I'm not just talking about Erick now, is a trend whereby, you know, like we're talking now, artists will do something to provoke the world to know that they exist. And I'm talking about where guys are buying, you know, likes, are buying followers, are buying everything to make themselves look like I'm on social media and I have a lot of following and all that. And you know, we have a number of even Kenyan artists, Kenyan producers and all that. One of them was being told in the week that you're always posting your photos there with your kid and feeding the kid, and you know, this is a man. And the question is it moral enough for us to, as people, entertainers and all that, to buy followers? Are we deceiving the world that we have a lot of following, yet we don't have a lot of following?
Well, I guess we're in an age of likes and, you know, which is unfortunate. And most of the celebrities, and I use that term very loosely, possibly want to gauge their popularity with the number of likes and the number of followers. But that's the day and age we're living in.
You know, deception, again, and truths, art, creativity and all that. Again, Victoria Kimani starting her tour this weekend, somewhere around Kisii, and her complaining again that Kenyan promoters have not been giving her the platform that she needs for our fans around Kenya and everywhere where we've been saying Victoria is not so Kenyan and all those things. And she says, you know what, I've always been here, but nobody seems to understand me. And all right, that kind of a thing.
Quinta, what should we look out for in the Nairobian? I know you've gone through it.
Yes, the biggest news of most of last week before Kenyatta National Hospital's saga is the one of
domestic violence.
Yes, and we have two public personalities involved. We have a former TV personality called Doreen Gatwiri and MP called Gideon. I have trouble pronouncing that name. Mulungi. Is that correct? Yes, Gideon Mulungi. And yes, of course, we were treated to this news from social media because Doreen posted that her life was in danger. Right. Yes, and I think at the end of the day, what my takeout in all of this is, as I read this, as I followed this story, and as we worked on it as well, what emerged is, or rather, the shocking thing is that this girl did not even know that the member of Parliament, Gideon, had a past, that he had a wife. So I don't know what happens when two people meet and
you get married and you don't even know
all that information. But that aside, do not get me wrong. I do not support domestic violence.
Well, the story is on the Nairobian, and it was on social media. So find out the nuts and bolts about the story on the Nairobian. Literally the nuts and bolts of that particular story. Now, guys, we are out of time. And Solo, what are you up to this weekend as you close?
I think I'll join my Rasta people. We know Freddie McGregor is in town, the Jamaican legend. So I'll be having some cool reggae vibes.
Some cool reggae vibes. Stevens?
I just talked about Victoria in Kisii. I don't think I'm going to Kisii, but I know the Pulse team is going to be everywhere. But one other event that we need to watch for is South Soul Chrome Bash in Machakos.
Wow. All right.
It's my birthday. I said it.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
like,
Quinta's birthday, so I think let's wind up with singing for Quinta and all of you. Solo, you can start the song. As we wind up, guys, have yourselves a good weekend.
Let me just tell them disclaimer: don't listen to the voice.
Listen to the
song.
Message.
The message.
Birthday
To you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Quinta. Happy birthday to you.
Where's the cake? Where's the cake? Where's the cake? Where's the cake? Where's the bash?
All right.
My
Thank you very
is
much.
too quiet. What's going on?
All right.
And well, from us right here on Morning Express, it's time for us to say goodbye. Thank you for staying with us, and do stay with us right here on KTN News. Coming up next is